What's up everybody and welcome to another edition of AGR's Pop Culture Reviews. I am definitely working overtime this weekend because I got a lot of stuff. And we're now officially showcasing Iron Studio products, which is really cool because I've been anticipating them for a long time. Now this particular piece has had a long journey getting into the studio for me to review. Now I initially got this and it arrived broken, so I had to send it back. However, I couldn't find it after that because this statue is getting harder and harder to find. Thankfully, today's episode sponsor, F&B Collectibles Incorporated, was able to track one down, get it into the studio for me to review. So thank you very much for the partnership, I really appreciate it. This was long overdue, but better late than never. Now the source material for this particular statue is incredible. Absolutely one of the best comics I've read in a very long time because there is so much crazy shit that happens in that comic. I definitely encourage you to read it. It is awesome. The Dark Knight's Metal series is definitely one of the more unique storylines I've ever read. But I also have to warn you, it's one of the most graphic. So today we're going to be reviewing DC Collectibles' DC Designer Series Batman, the Dark Knight's Metal version. Let's take a closer look. Now, when I initially took this out of the box months ago, I was freaking horrified because it was broken, but when I took it out again, I was so impressed with this piece, mostly because of the overall style. You can just tell that this piece has been influenced by several iterations of Batman. I see the New 52 in there obviously, but also see Frank Miller and the animated series. But most importantly is the details. Just take a look at all the scratches on the cowl. I love the brow, the whited out eyes are perfect. Most importantly, look at the blood stains around his chin area. The teeth are sculpted excellently, and I love the powerful jawline. This exquisite attention to detail definitely extends to the midsection and upper torso of this figure. Just look at how beautiful this looks, guys. I love the vibrant colors, the different tones, that bat symbol is incredible, but most importantly, look at the blood spatters. That is awesome, guys, and they're very vibrant, they pop out, they draw your attention, and just look at those battle scars, those tears into his abdomen. This is absolutely stunning, guys, and there's so much detail here, you just can't help but stare at it. It's amazing. What really impressed me about this piece was Batman's gauntlets. They look amazing. I especially like that the spikes are really thick, and again you have that brilliant blood spatter there, which looks cool. I also like the fact that they're muted a little bit. They're done in kind of like this black monotone, which looks great. Apart from that, at the end of those gauntlets are these two big ass battle axe that make it look practically medieval. It is awesome. Fortunately, they spared no expense in the overall detail of these weapons. What I really like is the handles. They look like actual wood, and the imperfections just make it look a lot more organic. I especially like the bandages at the end. Looks really cool. Now the stance on this figure is just epic. I mean, that's the only way that I can describe it. Apart from the incredible musculature, you also have the fact that he has subtle effects if he's been in a battle. I love the gouges in the actual costume. The blood spatter again is very impressive. I'd like to know what technique they use, but it looks really cool, guys. Most importantly though, for some reason, and I haven't seen this in a lot of statues, but the DC Designer Series always has the statues just off base. In other words, they're kind of stepping onto the actual base, and I think that's really cool. The boots here are absolutely spectacular. There's a lot of detail here, there's a lot of grit and grime, and again, the blood spatters, he looks like he's been stepping in blood. And here again you see where he's kind of stepping off or onto the base depending on your perspective, and it just really looks cool, guys. I think it's a lot more epic in its overall stance. It looks awesome. Now if you do not mirror this piece, it is an absolute crime, and I'll tell you why. This piece has a duality to it, in the fact that the front side is relatively unscathed, but the reverse side really tells the horrors of the battle that Batman has just been in. Just take a look at all the details on the cape. Those subtle tears, the major tears at the bottom, the blood spatters. I mean, he has been through hell and back, quite literally, in the graphic novel. It is absolutely stunning, guys. You have to mirror this. Now, I've addressed this issue in a previous review, and some of you asked, why didn't they do something a little bit more intricate with the base? Well, I think the overall design and thinking here was they didn't want to detract from the main portion of the statue, and again, it works really well here. Now, it's not overly complicated, but it is very nice, and I think really fits with this piece. It does read metal, and it has an engraving with a bat symbol, and I think that's all you really need. Not to mention, it has a very small footprint relative to the piece, and that's always a good thing. Now fortunately, if you flip this base over on the reverse side, you will find that these are numbered pieces. It does read DC Collectibles, mine is number 0937 of 5000, so it's a relatively big run, but don't let that fool you because these statues are getting harder and harder to find. Now given all the crap that I had to go through to actually get this statue in studio aside, this is absolutely a holy grail piece. It is a must own, especially if you're a fan of the comic. This thing is beautiful, guys. Now, it is getting harder and harder to find, so if you can snag it at a decent price, definitely get it because, again, it's already starting to hit eBay and those prices are going up and up every single day. Now before I go, I just want to thank the folks over at F&B Collectibles Incorporated for sponsoring today's video and making this review possible. Alright everybody, so that's my official review on DC Collectibles DC Designer Series Batman, The Dark Knight's metal version. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next AGR's Pop Culture Reviews.